see somebody filming us there. We appreciate that. Kathy, good to see you.
I lost the bus. Oh, no, but you found it.
Computer can really read some of the science and investigate it a little harder because our families are great parents and non-biological and I have no right in this son's life.
I appreciate your position on this right now. It's just like a gently on the state law. This is my nomination. Separate from the
call it hearing. Yeah. Hey, Chris, how you doing, brother? Just on this leg of the bus. Yeah, sure, this leg.
You know, I know that you
the next leg of the bus is Michael Pounds. Hey, Adam. Good to see you. Nice to meet you.
And I know I'm not your, you know, I can't get you any votes today, but I just stopped because I was over at the library.
Tell me about it.
Good luck, and try to keep it.
It's a hot day. It's a very hot day. Very much so.
The gentleman's name was Sam Lovett. He was up in Pasco and he came down and joined us in this one.
Still filming, man?
Yeah, we'll get the bus back.
We don't mind y'all being in the shot, but we just want to make sure the bus is on shot. You're here. I like your blue bus today. That's great.
All right, you good, Charles? First off, how important is it to come out here and meet and greet all your folks?
Well, I think it's very important to be out the last week or two of the campaign. Early voting, we want people to go out and vote. We want them to be energized, and I have a lot of grassroots support. My opponent really doesn't, and we have been known, I've been known not only for my public service record, but I work within the party and the precinct committee folks, all of the folks that go out and do all the telephone banking for candidates for the Republican Party. So it's very important to be out rallying them during the final week or so of the campaign like this.
It's been a tight race.
It has been.
Talk to us about that as well.
Well, it's been interesting because this fellow has spent $45 million plus now trying to buy the governor's office. And I didn't meet him until a week or so ago to know it. And we faced each other in one debate, and that's the first time. It was very clear our records are terribly different, and now I'm winning in the polls. I've seen Mason-Dixon this week where we're up, and the Florida Chamber of Commerce pulled us up a lot. I think it's turned for a reason. The reason it's turned is because people are now looking at my record of public service as a congressman, Ronald Reagan conservative, elected with him, one of the authors of the Contract with America, and now Attorney General, and all the things we've done. And the experience I have and knowledge of state government and being ready to lead our state at a very crucial time. We need jobs. We need somebody as governor who's going to be the chief economic development officer and knows how it works to get the job done versus his record, which is only the slick ads he shows us and a very questionable background, ripping off taxpayers while he was there at Columbia HCA, where they had the largest fraud, Medicare fraud in history. There are $1.7 billion fined, and now questions about his current company. So I think there are really big differences between our records, and I think that's why this has turned.
I'm going to kind of bear with me. I have YouTube has got one of the commercials from Rick Scott.
Sure.
I just want to kind of show it to you, just because I'm going to try to throw all angles possible, just with the commercials, the immigration law, which I'm going to ask you here in a little bit.
Sure.
But I want to make sure that I cue this up here. There's no. How was the trip? Where are you coming from?
Well, we came from St. Petersburg. We just were over there with former Mayor Rick Baker, who voted for me, early voting this morning. We had lunch at one of the popular bars over there, the sports bars that the Rays are really popular now. And of course, the Bucks are playing today, so it's a good day to be at a sports bar.
Exactly right, especially indoors. Okay, this is the commercial. I think this is his latest one. Bill McCollum TV ad. It's called Caught, where you talk about the immigration law. Sure. Have you seen it already?
I've heard it. I haven't watched it.
Okay, I got it posted here. You can watch it really quick.
It's all right. It's okay. Well, you know, it's the same.
It's the same.
It's the same one that.
Yeah.
So he has seen it.
It's the
So
same.
you have seen it?
There's
Okay.
nothing, no new message there.
Okay, so tell me, now that you saw it, and I know that you've seen it, where do you stand now, seeing that commercial? Is that accurate? Is that really what happened?
After the first week, when Arizona changed its law and amended its law, I have supported the Arizona immigration law consistently and forcefully. Mr. Scott has lied about my record, tried to distort it, tried to play it up, tried to take advantage of the emotion in this issue. I have always opposed amnesty. I was a strong fighter for legal immigration and against illegal immigration and securing our borders when I was in Congress and as Attorney General. And I have supported a bill we just talked with Representative Snyder about that's going to be introduced in the next session of the legislature that will bring a large part of the Arizona immigration law to Florida. And I'm involved in a lawsuit right now to defend the Arizona immigration law and its constitutionality. Scott knows this. He is desperate himself. He keeps saying, I'm desperate. He's the one who's desperate, throwing up ad after ad that tell lie after lie, and they're very misleading, using my words to distort my position. Again and again and again, this is another prime example of what he's been doing with $45 million in personal money, trying to buy the governor's office. The people of Florida aren't buying that.
That was great. Now I'm just going to ask you in terms of the immigration law, where do you, I mean, we know where you stand, but how do you think it'll go? I mean, because there are a lot of unknowns. Obviously, it didn't pass in Arizona. I know you kind of rewrote the legislation altogether,
Well,
the proposal altogether.
I think the bill we've worked is a very good bill. It's an improved bill over Arizona's law. It will pass in Florida eventually, and I'll sign it sometime when I'm governor. The law is very simple. The main feature of it is simply saying that when you're a police officer, you stop, detain, or arrest somebody, and you have a reasonable reason to believe that somebody has committed, or I should say is an illegal immigrant, then you are going to have to check with the Immigration Service, call them up, and find out if they're illegals or not, if you have a reasonable suspicion. And you are mandated to do it. Under current law in Florida, they have the authority already. This just requires them to do it. And of course, we've added other things to this in Florida that are different from Arizona. So if you're interested in that, one of the key things is we added a feature that says if you're one of these drug dealers or you're one of the people who come in and commit crimes in Florida, and there are a lot of illegals committing drug running in Florida, from Mexico particularly, then you're going to get enhanced sentencing because you're an illegal. And judges are going to be able to take into consideration when you're posting bond that you are illegal, that you might flee. That's going to be written in the statute in the proposed draft bill that we're recommending being passed.
My final question is, if you have one message for the voters watching this at home, what is that?
Well, I have a couple of messages. One, I think that voters need to think about our records. They need to compare somebody who has the experience that they know. This isn't just about policy. And policy is important, but it's about leadership, character, integrity, trust, and records. And I am somebody that the people and voters of Florida know. I've got a record you can examine. It's clear, it's open. My opponent's running from his record. He has real problems and issues. He took a deposition, the charges against his company Solantic 6 days before he filed charges of fraud. He has not been willing to make that deposition public, even though the doctor in the case says he will waive confidentiality. We need to know more about Rick Scott. Who is he? But you know who I am, and you know I'm the conservative Republican that was a Ronald Reagan conservative through and through, and I'll govern like that.
Great. That was it, Mr. McCollum. Thank you so much for
Hey,
that.
Bill!
Thank you. Thank you.
A few campaign folks have been asking about immigration and the airplane war. Is Rick Scott's message sinking in with people?
Well, I think the fact is that he's spent millions of dollars, so questions are always raised when the TAC ads are put up there. He can throw up more TAC ads than I can ever respond to. All of those ads have one thing in common: they're not true. They're not true, and I think that is something that people begin to look at the candidates. They're more and more realizing that Rick Scott is somebody they don't know. He has a background of fraud. That's what he did at Columbia HCA. I prosecute fraud as Attorney General, and Rick Scott has committed it. And in a way, he's doing the same thing with these TV ads because he's busy distracting people from his own problems, with all of his money and wealth, and attacking me in ways that he knows I can't respond to, in ways that aren't truthful. That's what's happening. Now, are they effective? To some degree, all negative ads are effective, but we are up in the polls, and I'm proud of that. We're going to win this election, and we're coming home strong because voters are going to pay attention as they are now to the differences between us, and they know who I am. We've got our ads up now, too, and I think people are going to finally think about it, the election. The control boards are supporting me, endorsed by Jeb Bush. We've got the back support of all of the key leaders in our government and in our communities in Florida, the Chamber of Commerce, and so on. I think
Veterans
that's how
Florida supporting Bill McCollum.
And veterans too. Absolutely. I'm a veteran, and so it's become a very, very good campaign for us in that regard.
What's it like to have this guy following you around all the time?
Yeah.
Well, he follows me all the time, films me. I don't know what he picks and chooses to use, but
right,
he's an
let's hop.
interesting guy.
Let's get you
Okay,
moving.
thank you.
Thanks.